Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Anson, a member of Mirayi Animation Studio, as well as the moderator for the interview today, which will be focusing on all the things about Neon Luna. Let's now begin with some self-introduction by everyone here today. Okay.
So I start first. So hi guys, my name is Jim Chan. I'm a creator of Neon Luna and also a director for the trailers for this animated series. And I'm from Mirayi, by the way. So, Jin?
Yeah, I'm Jin. I'm a CEO and executive producer from Mirayi. So yeah, Anthony.
So yeah, I'm Anthony Guscott. I'm the CEO and founder of Sprinkles on Top, and we're a creative consulting agency that works with companies to help develop their shows. Yeah, thank you. Welcome.
All right. Okay, so with all the trailers and also the minor bits of the info release, in your own words, what is Neon Luna? If you are to describe it to everyone else.
For me, I will talk about a more shorter logline. It's about a sci-fi cyberpunk animated TV show about a teenage girl called Taco and a cute Orion alien venture into Asteroid City to become the greatest bounty hunter. So during the journey, Taco unlocked the secret of her lost mother. It's called Neon Luna, the greatest bounty hunter in the galaxy, and also a legend, and unlocked many mystery about the city. So about the city, I can pass to Anthony. Is you can talk about a little bit more about the flavor of the story about.
Cool. Yeah. So my flavor is it's a Asian infused cyberpunk futuristic show starring with a female lead, and it's basically Tarzan, someone who's been living in the jungle, who's now in the city and faced with technology, is the best way to put it. So it's country meets city, but very extreme, especially when there's bounty hunting and sort of, unlocking the secrets to the past while hunting down villains in the future.
Very serialized cyberpunk. That's what we intended to do. Am I right?
Yeah. And so city-wise, it's set on an asteroid in space, which is a cool place to have it because of all the different gravities and the history and how it got created as well, which gets deeper later on.
Yeah, we can save it later.
Okay.
Anson? No.
Yeah. Okay. So having a female protagonist is actually very rare from what we know in Malaysia series, all that. And actually, it's kind of almost none of it. So how did Neon Luna come to be how it is now? How did all of it started for Neon Luna?
How it started for female heroes.
Yeah.
When we are developing together with Anthony, we actually was choosing male characters. Am I right? So then we were seeing that it might be too many heroes, male heroes in the world now. So you're wondering, like, we have inspired by Korra, we inspired by a lot of like Avatar, and then something like more like Ghost in the Shell. That's where we come from, and we're also thinking about showing to the local that mostly of the local series mostly male instead of female. So we think that in the real world, the female actually kind of strong in everything, that we want to give it a bit balance on this series.
Okay.
Anthony, you want to?
Sure. When Mirayi came to me, they had a really big Bible, full of text about who the characters are, what they do, where they come from, and how the series is going to work out. Taco was always female. She was hunting for her father to start with originally, but we twisted that up to make it more hunting for her mom. And when we first got her, she was good at everything. So she was a student who was the best. She was a hacker.
A delivery.
She created she was a delivery for her mum's restaurant. She created inventions in the garage. She was also a space bounty hunter. She was like all these things, and she was so awesome that I don't think she needed anyone else. So we had to sort of rejig her character to make her very specialized in what she does, so that she needs a cast of people to help come around and support her, so we can tell really good stories.
Okay, so what about the inspiration for Taco Luna? What is the inspiration behind her or the series as a whole, if there's any?
Anthony, you can. I think there's a lot
Yeah,
of
I mean,
inspiration from your side.
yeah. So when when I had a look at the show, I looked at the benchmarking for it, and it was a female lead. It was hunter police. It was cyberpunk with robots and aliens with an Asian influence. And so we kind of had a look at the marketplace to see what other shows are in that space and who's doing what, to get an idea of what the trends were and how we can sort of differentiate ourselves. And I think we did a pretty good job looking at those sort of categories and how Neon Luna turned out. It's unique and it's cool, and we managed to sort of embody everything.
For my side, because I really like Japanese anime, and I watch a lot of detective and Blade Runner. That's why it came from my side. Actually, we started out on this project. It's actually a space. It's a space journey. Space boy who actually travel to another side of a planet, and they collecting the scouts, the badges of scout. So then, when Jean, I mean our producer here, asked me, actually, you really wanted to do this kind of loan, because in outside of the market is in many people doing a lot of space. So he gave me a one idea is what you want to do in your life, what you love to do in this IP, and also inspired by others. So where I go back to research and I talk a lot with Anthony, and at the same time, a lot of Star Wars haven't come out yet, like Bounty Hunter from Mandalorian and stuff. When we come out at the time, I was inspired by some detective show. Okay, and then we come out with the cyberpunk. Why not we do something like Asian fused cyberpunk, and also a female lead to lead the whole story about missing mother. That's where Anthony came in and to inspire us. Actually, Anthony is the one who inspired us to do a lot of research and what we need to do.
We I mean, it was originally called Galactic Seekers.
Yeah.
And that was that was the name of the show. And and it's about bounty hunting. So for me, it was whether we make it for kids or for adults, and how we could sort of work that. And so we looked at some of the adult shows like Killjoys, Final Space, and then back to other shows like Cleopatra in Space, Alien Hunter Vera, and Max Steel, with partnerships and kids and things, and sort of tried to figure out the balance of where we could take the show. Yeah.
I see. So that's how everything comes together as it is now. So on that note, what do you think you can talk about the characters in Neon Luna in specific, like all the characters design and all those personalities? What kind of input would you like to have for them?
For Taco, actually I didn't start up much for Taco because I already know that this one will be a female lead, and I inspire one of the Princess Monarchy when I do this project. And also that time we also hire a concept artist to help us to concept. His name is called Malcolm Whoop. He's been doing a lot of Valorant cinematics, animations, rising, and concept. So he give me a inspiration of this style. Before I know Taco is something like a delivery dude, who having a power. And Anthony told me we need to do something different. So where the concept artist actually told me that probably you need to do a bit more hip hop kind of style with the story about the Asian, from where we begin to start from there. That actually he never been to the city. So that's where that I inspired that he gave me one idea like Princess Mononoke from Studio Ghibli. So from there we developed from the design, and eventually we are very happy with it. And then after that, Orion are the one who are most hardest thing to develop as a character. So from Anthony help out on the personality, which actually we start out as a robot first, right, Anthony? We start out as a
Uh,
robot first. Yeah.
yeah, he was a robot butler.
Yeah, as a robot butler.
So originally he was this big, brawny robot butler / bounty hunter. Um, but then we sort of, yeah, I think it was you that came up with the idea of having his head as an alien spaceship, and then how we could make it into Orion, the alien itself.
Yeah, it's actually is symbiotic with the alien, and suddenly there's one of the artists, Louis, that's our intern artist who help out. He actually give one idea that is like one of the show that actually alien infused to the machines. So we know that there's a lot of show out there, but how to make it different? From there, we developed that okay, the alien should be from the outer planet that actually infused and disguised in the robot suit. That's where that we were surprised to the audience, something different.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're also looking at for future seasons as well. I mean, the first season one would be all about Taco and her journey. Um, and then future seasons could be about Orion and him finding his aliens and species, because at the moment he's the only alien of his kind within this asteroid world. And we also looked at, because he infuses with the technology, and he's the technology side, and Taco is more of the bounty hunter, and the sort of the savageness, the emotional side of things. We came up with the concept of them sort of fusing together, so she could hear him sort of telepathically and take his energy power into herself, um, which gave her a power hand. Yeah, that's right, Jim.
Yeah, I think there's a few characters we also want to tell more, but there's a lot of story to discuss. For now, these two. For villains, Anthony, which one do you want to talk about for villains?
So yeah, for villains, the first villain we had was Bonzo, the alien pirate king clown,
Yeah,
in the original story.
something like a One
And
Piece.
yeah, he was a One Piece mixed with Joker, mixed with a few things. But we sort of he was too much as well, so we sort of stripped him back and stripped him down. Trying to think of what was his name, 'cause this was all a long time ago.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Zarkon and Borgard. So the overall villain we had for season one was Borgard, I think, who was a cyborg wizard. That's how we sort of described him, and he was wrongfully imprisoned by Taco's mum back in the day. But he managed to be corrupted inside the system and ended up enhancing himself while in jail and sort of taking it over. And so it's his mission to sort of take over the asteroids and sort of turn it into a villain, basically a villain colony is his major driver. So he's trying to bring bad guys into the asteroids to do his dirty work. But at the end of the day, if Taco catches them and they get sent to jail, he runs that jail anyway. So he's quite happy for her to do her job because it means he's collecting his ultimate crew of people, which are going to break out and destroy everything at the end of the season. Would that be a good way of putting it?
Yeah, Anson, is it good?
Yeah, that's good enough. Okay,
Okay.
so
But I was going to get onto the other one though. Just wait a minute. Zarkon, which is someone that Jim created, is his right hand man, who's basically a pair of shoes, which I thought was very cool. And his body is projected up from his shoes, so he can sort of morph and change his body with sort of what would you call it? I can't remember the technology.
hologram particles hologram.
Yeah, that's the one. So particle holograms. But yeah, so he's this ultimate villain guy, but of course he always leaves footprints, which helps Taco sort of track him down because he is a pair of shoes, and who wouldn't want to be a pair of shoes?
Yeah. And most of the character we wanted to put more like a Southeast Asia is more towards to Zarkon, because it's in this world, cyberpunk world, we actually wanted to try to intended to put a little bit more, because a lot of audience when they see the trailer, they ask where's the look of the South Asia. We can't put too much. We only have to put a little bit of something there to see that actually it looks much more better. If not, if you look too much for the character to look appeal, because it will be look like Final Fantasy thematics, you know. So for series, we need to make it keep it simple. And Zarkon are the one who are actually putting more effort on the look. The mask actually inspired by the Indonesia or Sarawak or the Ibanese mask from the tribe. And there's a few more trademark there that actually we intended to, because he lived in the slums, by the way, right, Anthony? He lived previously.
Yeah,
He
yeah, he lived
was
in the
in the slum.
slums. He was connected to who was it?
The police guy,
Flint.
police character,
Yeah,
Flint. Yeah, that's
he
one
was
interesting
connected to
character.
Flint as well. They used to run in the same gang. So we've got these wonderful backstories with the characters that all sort of cross over in the past and in the future. And I think Zarkon's gonna maybe turn over a new leaf, and sort of once he's got revenge on the people that took away his body, and left him as a pair of shoes, he might step up for the side of good.
Yeah. And there's a lot of side characters that we want to make it a bit more comedic. One of the Triceratops lady that actually is a pilot. The name is
Kilo.
Kilo. Actually, Kilo was actually inspired by the previous first IP we developed. I mean, the one that we now evolved to, previously is like a space boy. It actually is an alien, a friend of a boy. That means Taco Luna maybe. So now it become more midget and more cuter, and also very cranky. Is it very easy to get mad?
Yeah, so Kilo was basically a little taxi driver. If you can imagine an angry taxi driver. Um, cool. And it's someone who, and she's also she's also an odd character where in that world she's one of the only ones. And we find out later on that it was Kilo's people that mined the Astro City where Neon Luna, where the story takes place. And since being sort of genetically created to mine all that asteroid, they've all left. But Kilo's sort of stuck around. And that's also another reason why she knows all the streets and back alleys. And she can sort of look after and take Neon and the crew around places and give them an advantage. Because Neon and Orion have no idea about this new city.
Okay, so just now we you did mention about like slums and also the technologies and all those. So what is it? How do actually it's kind of a very how to say it is we don't have the quite the full idea of it. So how would you actually describe the whole world and the technology of Neon Luna as a whole?
Oh,
Um,
the world of the technology, for example, like the city and
Yeah, the
I mean
city, the
The
slums,
Meteoron this
yeah, all
from
the
the group.
technologies, the things, all those, yeah, the world building and all those.
okay, so Astro
Yeah.
Neo City is a repurposed asteroid, and they have sort of bubbles of force fields, I guess, to keep atmosphere and everything inside. So those would be the cities, and then you have these tunnels that go through the asteroids that are filled with buildings like all the way around, and those kind of would be the slums where there's no sort of gravity. Um, and it's a very high tech meets low tech society, I guess, where some areas are super high tech and everything's there, whereas other places are like underground, I guess, living in the sewers to some degrees. Jim came up with this concept of the Mithorian coin, or this what was actually mined from the asteroids is what they use as the currency in that world, and it's also what Orion eats, which is very handy, and very terrible as well. So if you're making money, Orion ends up eating it, which causes more problems later.
Yeah, and this world actually is run by the currency of current days. We are replacing it to be like monetizing. So the economic mostly that everyone there's no gas. It's only for electric car. And by the way, talking about electric car, there are not much of we are not doing like Super Star Wars that everything is hovering. A certain part it have to be more to the ground, like the transportation. It's still in the developing, but it will still look like a cyberpunk because we need to make it not too futuristic, but at the same time, there's something that coming in the real life now. The design and the aesthetic look combination with the metropolis. So that's why we call it like a punkish animated series. So talking
Yeah,
about
but
the
I
group,
mean, sorry, shoot.
yeah, talking about the group, actually Anthony have come up with a few group. I'm actually creating one of them is like the bounty hunter corporations. And Anthony, you can talk more about that. A few more organizations that let anyone know about this whole world.
Yeah, so there was the ANC enforcers, which were like the police and the police group, I guess, as well as it ended up being massive. I think this is the biggest writer's Bible I ever made for a company. Um, and it just kept getting
I also
bigger
wonder
and
why you are making so big.
well,
Standard world
yeah,
universe.
Because you
well,
can't
Jim,
stop, is it? Too excited?
no, I was so excited, but Jim kept saying, and I want this, and I want that, and I just kept adding things. Um, but it, but it's amazing to create a world and with all these characters and who these people are. Um, it's very cool. So yeah, the groups we've got is the the main group is one of the main groups is the founders, and these are the people who sort of created Astro Neo City and got there first. So it's their generations who run the sort of the city encampments within the force field bubbles. You got the enforcers, and they're the police that sort of enforce the will of the people and sort of make sure there's no criminals and track everything down. But they're really understaffed, and most of them are quite young. So that's why we have Flint in there as well. To sort of help back them up, we've got the Hunter Corp, which are the bounty hunters. So they're the guys that hunt down and track down the criminals. And it's kind of got a levelized system. So the higher level you go, the harder criminals you can catch. So you might start when you start off, you could be just tracking down alien cats to give back to alien cat mothers
Just
who've
like your
lost their
Uber
alien
system.
cats. But as they get higher, there's more and more dangerous people. But what we had was, well, I don't know if we can give spoilers or not, but Taco, as soon as she signs up to be in the Hunter Corp, she's getting A-grade villains, and
Mhm.
she's totally new to this.
Yeah.
And so she's skipped all the levels below, and so she's way up the top, and it sort of confuses people, but she seems to succeed most of the time. But we can go into that later on, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
that's how Taco that succeeded that because he was trained by her mother first because to hunt the animals, I mean kill animals, I mean and also they actually how to survive in the jungle as well with this asteroid jungle. There's a lot of danger animals, creatures.
what what was the three balls things? I never always forget the name of that.
Bola, I think it's a
Bola.
weapon. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's a bola drop weapon.
So because she has this electronic hand that can absorb energy, which she got from Orion, um, she can't touch anything that has technology. She basically breaks everything. So she ends up using bolos like traditional weapons and stuff and techniques to track people down because she can't. Everyone else in this asteroid can plug into the system. They have chips. They can see all the AR world that's around them and all these sort of holograms. But Taco doesn't, and that also helps her find and track people because she doesn't have that clutter of things in front of her as she goes on the hunt around the alleyways and tracking down criminals.
It's very
Yeah, I think
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of the
Th-
weapons that we get to know now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's more people too. You got the Genesis, the Neuromancers, which are a crime syndicate. I mean, it's pretty big.
Yeah,
And yeah, what they
yeah,
do. But that's all for future stuff.
yeah. That's what Anthony answered the bounty hunter how that does they works on ANC.
Okay, so now that we have quite the background information and also settings known, so let's move on to the more technical side of the things. Okay. So how is Neon actually created? Like from a technical standpoint, the concept, production, and all those along the line.
Okay, okay. I think I also wanted to Jean to help out on how the production running. But before Jean discuss, more I can talk about more on how we started out develop the concept. Mostly while we actually working with Malcolm Wong, we also still Anthony still writing the story at the same time. So in order to get these things run and also we have to sync together is a challenging. And the load depth the most challenging part is the look depth of background, that how the world actually should look like. Characters, yes, we actually know what we need to do on the characters, but the background you have to be what is the the economy, the politics and stuff like that. But we try not to expand it too much. That's how Anthony says like a lot of things coming in, but luckily Anthony helped us to narrow down something to be much more where we focus because it's an animated show. We also wanted to do it a bit more like you guys know about those like Batman animated series. They're actually expanding the characters and stuff like Arcane. That's where we wanted to go for that. Yeah. At the same time, we're developing the Bible as well, and the props, and also where we need to do for the trailer for the animatics. That's how we talk about concept, and now we go for animatics. And we also need to do the load depth of what style we want. This is the most interesting part. Are we going to something like a normal rendering like we used to see, or are we going to more to 2D look what we see? So I discussed with my team and very helpful my development team from Mirayi and also the concept artists. They give us a lot of research and we at the end we found out something very cool that people that after the Spider-Verse we see something similar to that, but how we can make it different. It's something like a comics, but it's a bit on a 2D anime side. At the same time, we need to go into a little bit more on the Western look, like Airbender and stuff. So that's where we are doing together. The concept, the technical part is like inspire each other. I can say this is one of the style, the shader that we developed at time is actually needed a lot of our art department to help out. For Jean's side, maybe you can talk about how you run the production.
Okay. I think before I think just now Jim mentioned that like what kind of style we want to go. So I think at the same time we are running a few production with 3D render 2D as well. And I think the trend is there, and I think everyone, everyone love anime, that kind of style, but and our studio is 3D studio, and we think that we want to try to using 3D render 2D to get the 2D look for the show. That's why we challenge ourselves to do for this Leon Luna to make it 3D render 2D. Yeah. So I think the challenge would be, I think for 3D render 2D actually involve not only the design part, for the modeling part, for the lighting part, even for the animation as well, because it want to look 2D, so they have to animate. We provide they have to provide some script to make it like on tools, the animation. So it's more would be like a 2D look. So but definitely it it worth it to try. And although we spend a bit more time for that, yeah.
Yeah, talking about the 2D look, right? The challenge also with the animation as well, not just the look. The animation, we was thinking there's a lot of people been doing 2D shader look, but it didn't get the correct frame rate for the animation that look like 2D. So we actually wanted to go for the simple way, just make it 24 FPS. What I mean 24 FPS is mostly like a normal 3D film, movie or series that actually much more smoother action. But what we intended is we needed to make it like 2D, like anime, that need to go for by 12 FPS. I mean by tools, you need to animate by tools. Okay, so this is the challenge part that we need to write some script to do the testing and stuff, and we also need to hand manual key. Same goes with shader. Sometimes the toon shader having some problem. We need to hand keyframe to erase it. We're still in developing of this process, but we found a way to do it much more smoother. So that's why we also doing other project like a 2D. I think soon later you can see Mirayi website. We have a different kind of 2D project. I mean 3D CG toon project that we already have been experienced before. And yeah, Anthony, maybe you can talk about the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah. Did I write that trailer? I'm trying to find the evidence. I can't remember.
Don't worry, I know. Actually, I was writing the idea of it. I do a thumbnail. Okay, talking about this trailer. Started that time. I was asking the idea, and Jin also gave me like challenge me. You need to do it the best. Whatever it is, you need to give it a appeal. There's a story. There's everything. Okay, how am I gonna do this 3D? So I draw a thumbnail and discuss with Anthony. Okay, I want this one, and also we need to remove something that too much work for us, like 360 background, stuff like that. Yeah, Anthony, on your side, I guess you are helping me on how the broadcaster will look at this trailer and stuff like that.
I think probably I adding in a little bit is like you know the trailer animatic we've been reject a few times, so it's not like a one version only that you get it right. So we've been trying to polish a few times, reject a few times. Then initially we want to do only 1 minute 30 seconds, because now I think it's like a 2 minute plus is
3 minutes
really costing to do a 3D show. I hope you understand. So but I think after the outcome, so okay, I got no choice, I have to approve it, because I think the animatic is really look good. So that's why we just go for it for 2 minutes 30 seconds, right? Yeah,
I think almost 3 minutes. Almost 3 minutes.
Almost 3 minutes. Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's because we ought to Anthony.
I just want to jump into. I'm pretty sure the trailer that I wrote was a little bit shorter and a little bit less dynamic, and Jim did a great job at making it look really, really cool and spend all your budget. So it's not my fault.
Eventually, outcome was okay. I mean, but we need to be careful. I think I agree with Jin also. We have to be careful, but it's almost bottleneck at the time. And also, we're going to talk about the challenge when we just finish up the pre-production. We are going for production. There was a first hit of COVID during 2020. That was a very challenging part. I guess we can talk about more on that, your answer.
Yeah, we can talk about that later. So next on, while we're on the note about the technical part, there's also the trailer. In the trailer, there's a very nice music going on for the trailer and also the teaser. So how did you guys actually manage to find and compose such a nice music?
Yeah, I'm not sure whether I can talk this or not, Jin. When we start to actually everyone knows that WoW Animation is still helping us on doing this music. We actually found someone, some studio that hire a foreigner. I mean, hire someone that from overseas. Very good. That we also doing the first trademark of how Neo Luna will look like. what I want actually is we wanted to do something very different that not using the library and stuff. We want to make it original as music because music is very important for this show, in my opinion. In order to get it more cooler and people will appeal, eventually people will love it. And some people are asking for soundtrack as well.
Yeah.
So we cannot review Jim, we cannot review the person who helped us to do the first music, right? But we actually scrap out already the idea. So then WoW came in. Jin who actually introduced me on WoW, Usama, our good friend here, that because after we watched the movie from WoW, the Agent Ali movie, when I know Azri, the composer, that's what I see and Jin together see, this is what we actually want. So then we found WoW, and they are very collaborative, and they are really give us a lot of ideas on how to, because what Azri, the composer, and also the team, the sound effects team and audio team, also love this genre, this kind of cyberpunk genre. They wanted to do it in Agent Ali, but they also afraid maybe it's too much for cyberpunk because it's not out of the story already. So they say we're going to put this idea on this trailer. We're going to do it look good. Okay, good.
This city is my home now.
Break it down now.
Time to hunt.
So that's how the music, and about the vocalist is not from Western or someone. It's all from local people, a Malaysian who actually we pick up from WoW Studio animator, coordinator to do the sound. The voice, because the voice actor is very expensive, by the way. So we think that, actually we just give him some sample. They actually do it very good job so far. For the trailer is WoW. For the teaser, we actually found someone that actually wanted them to do inspired from WoW, because it's very short period, only 30 seconds. There's another studio actually helping us. The person name is called Chris Yong. Okay, Chris Yong. And he's a very young person that actually loved this genre, because when we found him that time, he actually really also loves cyberpunk. Actually, before we found Chris Young, there's one person that actually gave us the idea of to help me to find. Okay, hold on a second. I need to find back the person. It's called Jave Wong. Yeah, Jave Wong. Okay, Jave actually helped me to even intentionally. He didn't give any credit because he doesn't want, because he said he help us. So hopefully we can work together. And he loved it because he only can find this person that help us to do that. So he managed it for us. So I'm very happy for it.
Okay, so coming back to what we are about to talk about earlier, when Young Luna came out, it must be a few years back, and I'm pretty sure it clashed with the COVID and all those. So what are the challenges in precise have you guys been facing since the beginning stages until now?
Jin, you want to talk more about this?
No, you can.
Okay. I think
I'll
the risk
jump
challenge.
in. My biggest challenge was loving it too much.
It needed more to come, more to work. I think.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, the writer's Bible, the trailer script.
In the same year.
All yeah, and story editing the pilot episodes as well. I haven't put as much effort into a show, ever, I guess. So I'm really hoping it's going to go somewhere and sort of take off, because there's so much time.
The universe is so
and creativity invested into this. That yeah, I want to see her fly. I want to see her soar.
Same to us. So the risk that time was before it goes saw, we're actually having a sour time. I think not just production, by the way, Anthony also, Jean as well, mostly Jean pocket money. By the way, we also actually taking some funding that is just reasonable. The time there will be when we first wanted to start to do this production. I mean, after pre-production, that the COVID and the government said they need to lock down and we need to go back home to do. So that's where we actually try and learn how we actually, first is the communication, how we actually get closer to work together like in the studio. So first. Second is how we can maintain the schedule. This is a very challenging part. And third is how we can make the maintain of the quality. Because everyone is working first time at home. And a lot of technical stuff, we haven't, but eventually we actually know how we're going to do like using remotely and stuff. Previously what we are, it's really struggle the manpower and stuff like that. And I think this the most hardest part for us. We kind of delay a little bit more, like 1 or 2 months. Then we also find someone to help us there because we also have other bread and butter projects to do. So we not just focus on trailer actually, by the way. We have something to do also in our company to survive, to pay our salary. Same goes with Anthony also when we ask him, is it this not okay? Stuff like that.
It's the biggest juggle is sort of creating a dream while living a life. And you guys managed to do both of those in that time. And I was very lucky being based in Korea. I'm always working remotely. So I wasn't affected much when everyone started getting sick and getting locked in. But it was, I guess it made it easier for me that everyone wasn't in a room together and I could talk to everyone separately on cameras. Was kind of nice. I didn't feel like the only talking head on a screen. Everybody was, which was kind of cool.
And also I learned something when during the trying time on 2020 to 2021 is I had to let it go something. Because as an artist, I'm also an artist, not just on managing side. I uncontrollable. But lucky Jean as an executive producer, he know how to control me on where to see, where is the thing need to be seen. Sometimes I out of focus as a director. That's why we have producer coordinators to, to push me down. So
Yeah,
actually,
let's say Jin can push me down too, man. You should have told me to stop.
To stop and stuff like that. So that's quite a challenge because I wanted to look good, but actually eventually people really love it. But there's a lot of things we can be done better. But I can say I'm really proud of the team and everyone who managed, and also Anthony has a big help on helping to see whether there's any problem on the quality. Also, broadcaster doesn't want to love to see something that too violent and stuff. So we try to, a lot of things when you do a trailer very costly. Also, at the creative point of view, we need to see whether broadcaster accept the age that we actually doing this kind of visual. So, and then they come out after we done this whole thing, we need to go to do a 2D com, FX. We doesn't use any 3D much, only 2D effects. The music and stuff, we need to submit on time. So that's the challenge and also what we learn.
Those are
you guys had.
Yes?
So I was going to jump in. You guys had funding from MDEC as well, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. We have funding from MDEC, but it's not enough to cover.
Oh, it never is, but you guys sort of made it work for you. And thank you, MDEC.
Yeah, thank you, MDEC, for helping us a lot.
Well, for funding creativity, because you need a seed to grow a tree, and it helps. Every little bit helps, and sort of creating these projects that can be global brands once we get a co-production partner.
Yeah, Jin, talking about Anson, maybe you can ask about Jin, like what's the future?
Yeah, I was about to ask about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what will be your future planning for Neon Luna? Other than, of course, just now co-producers.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think after we complete, then we bring into the market. I think we get some traction. So a lot of people interested, but at the same time, it's a COVID time, so it's not easy to make the deal done. So we do currently. Currently we still talking to several producer. Try to do co-production together or make the TV series. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the world's changed from when we first started. And people, when I say people, I don't mean people, streaming services and funders and broadcasters, they're finding it hard to invest in original content. They're looking more for shows that are established, that come from a book, from a TV show or a cartoon from the 80s, or a computer game, a webtoon, something that's got fans and it's been successful somewhere else. Then it's a safer bet for them, and it means they can bring more eyes and more viewers to their service. So pitching an original IP is difficult, but that's where fans come in, I guess. And if we can prove with fans how awesome Neon Luna is going to be, I'm pretty sure someone will pick it up. But it means we have to put in the legwork and effort to begin with, and that's hard when we don't have any Meteorions or any cosmic cryptocurrencies to sort of fund everything.
Neon Luna NFT is coming, by the way. That's the future. Metaverse. That's the future coming.
So,
And I think Neon Luna actually very I can say it's a very trend. Actually, after we done Neon Luna, actually there's a lot of things coming in, but I not to say we are so big. Before Mandalorian and also Arcane coming out, and there's a lot of 2D things that actually inspire from Spider-Verse, Miles Morales coming in. But I think a lot of people are accepting this kind of look, CG look, talking about visual. And talking about the streaming, that's what Anthony said, like those like series like Arcane that's so successful, they just won the Annie Awards for 9 awards, right? 9 awards. So people can see now the age is actually getting higher a bit more. It can be streamed in different platform, not just for traditional platform. So I believe Neon Luna will be potential, and also for marketing wise, is in the local. A lot of people wanted to see. Actually, when I read, we did read through some comment from local. They asked, can it be more towards to Bahasa, like Malay, speaking Malay? It will sell more. Yes, we intended to do that vocal, and also they first thing they keep telling us, you guys do a good job because you guys creating female characters in Malaysia. And superhero, that main character hero is a female compared to a lot of shows. This is what made me so proud and the team. And some more, it's much more cooler that the female can do a lot of sorts of things, and also a very cute robots that actually can merchandise as well. They say, well, they wanted to have a plush toys and things like that. So
yeah,
there's a lot of things happening,
I've been pushing for Orion plush toys. I want my little glow in the dark alien. And I think
actually last time you did some sample, right, Anthony?
Yeah, I did. I planned some samples, and I was talking in talks with a manufacturer in China. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm what do you call it? I'm a facilitator, so it's not really my IP or my show, but I can help sort of push it along and get things going, so we can all celebrate when Neon launches.
Yeah, there's a lot of universe happening for future-wise. Neon Luna actually can expand like comics and stuff, and the universe of the characters, right? There's a different bounty hunter, have a different personality, and you can see our social media now. We actually try to give some things for the fans to see behind the scene. Also, something like we draw something like a chibi characters. A lot of people kind of wanted to, to invest more time on seeing this, and I also hope we have fans. If you have enough fans, we wanted to ask them to do something different. We can give some prizes, like fan arts and stuff. So we still keep going. I cannot say we are stopping, even though we're still looking for buyers. That's what we love to do.
Yeah, I've got some ideas, but I'll talk to you later, Chen. We won't share it here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll give away all the secrets. But yeah, there's so many ways to move things forward.
There's a lot of secret behind.
No, and the show's going to have a lot of momentum once it builds up as well, because it is cool. You can't deny that.
Yeah, all of that sounds very nice. And also, as part of the Mirayi, I also kind of wish that all the goals can be achieved in the future and have Neon be pushed out and we have get all those plushies and stuff. Okay. Okay, so with that saying, now that it's coming to an end, to all of those that have been watching and have been with us for the whole way until the end of the interview, if you have any questions or thoughts that you want to share, do leave them in the comments below. We anticipate them as just how you're anticipating the contents of Neon Luna every week as well. For that, we thank you for the love and interest in our Neon Luna, and may everyone have a nice day ahead. Do remember to like, share Neon Luna out to others, and stay tuned to Neon Luna's social media accounts for more contents. Until next time, bye.
By the way, actually all the marketing is done by Anson. So so she will reply you from there. So thank you, Anson, for moderating this IP. Without her, also we give us the title about what we discussed. Actually, we want to cover a lot of things, but the time being, we hopefully only can do this time. Okay.
Thank you, Anson.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
kumoyo.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Goodbye.
See you.
Bye bye.